Good morning. Welcome to the Monday edition of your breakfast show on Leadership Television inside Nigeria. Today is November 11, 2024. Coincidentally, we are having 11. November happens to be the 11th month in the calendar and 2024. My name is Winifred Webo, your host on the program. Welcome once again. On this first segment of the show, we like to look at front headline stories on some select newspapers, including Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership, and its sister publication, National Economy, a weekly business newspaper. Let's flag up with leadership and see what leadership is leading with this Monday, November 11, 2024. Wipe out Lakurawa, now northern leaders tell military. Wipe out Lakurawa, now northern leaders tell military. Say terrorists sacking security agents, local vigilantes. Troops pound bandits in Kebbi, Zamfara. Leading story on leadership newspaper. Demolition traders sue Lagos, demand 3.4 billion naira damages. Two killed in Ebonyi boundary dispute. NDLEA smashes cross-border drug syndicates. Stop undermining Tinubu, presidency tells Atiku. The story is on page 6 of Leadership. NDLEA smashes cross-border drug syndicates. Two killed in Ebonyi boundary dispute. Demolition traders sue Lagos, demand 3.4 billion naira damages. We also have the picture of the Majora manager, Gimon Construction Company, Moshe Ben Simon, coordinator, Satellite Towns Development, Abdulkadir Zulkiflu, and FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, former senator representing the FCT, Senator Philip Aduda, during the inspection of the ongoing Kuje Primary School / Market Road in Uke District at the weekend. Close to the masthead of leadership, few judges giving judiciary bad name, CJN. And on the business boss of leadership, high cost, travelers dump local agents, buy foreign tickets outside Nigeria. And above the masthead of leadership, NLC to embark on strike over new minimum wage December 1. Ondo steer clear of election duties, IGP warns Amoteku. With that, we move to the page 3 where we have our stand. Today's stand is on crush Lakurawa terrorist group now, just like what the headline story also says. Wipe out Lakurawa now, northern leaders tell military. And today's stand says crush Lakurawa terrorist group now before it metamorphoses to something else. From that, we move over to the Monday column with Dakuku Side is on the back page of the paper, and today's column is on the minors, a reflection of decay in society. The minors, a reflection of decay in society. In quote, seeing children in a courtroom for accusations they couldn't fully grasp is heartbreaking, bringing forth disbelief, anger, and sorrow. Quote from that column, Monday column, the minors, a reflection of decay in society. With that, we bring to a close the review of Leadership newspaper this Monday. For more, log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move over to Daily Sun newspaper. Daily Sun also has similar story on terrorism in a country, and it says NAF bombs terrorist arms depot in Kebbi, Zamfara. Key scores: don't treat new terror group Lakurawa with key clues, ACF. Beneath that, Edo governor-elect trade words. Okpebolo demands psychiatric evaluation for Obaseki. Focus on your 5 billion naira inauguration. Leave me out of your petty politics, the governor. Soludo's defection rumor. Bianca's ministerial appointment unsettle Anambra APC. Labour declares strike in states failing to implement minimum wage. Presidency hits Atiku, says his criticisms devoid of realistic alternatives. That takes us gradually to the masthead of Daily Sun, and underneath that we have prices of eggs, yam, beans, milk continue to rise. Food items becoming exclusively for wealthy Nigerians. And beside the masthead of Daily Sun, FCT 36 states domestic debt swell by 198.96 billion naira in 3 months. That concludes the review of front headline stories today on Daily Sun. For more, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.thesun.ng. From Daily Sun, we move over to Vanguard. Vanguard is next on the lineup. Vanguard's main headline story says Petro banks loan for imports to hit 3.5 trillion naira. Petro banks loans for imports to hit 3.5 trillion naira. And the kickers, marketers set to increase importation. Pump price higher than actual market cost, NLC alleges. Claims Nigerians are being ripped off by marketers. At $72 per barrel of oil, imported petrol should be cheaper in Nigeria, experts. IPMA force NSC says market fully deregulated. Why marketers prefer importation, analyst. Federal government is supporting marketers move, Oxfam. Dangote refinery has commercial terms issue, expert. The kickers told the headline story on Vanguard newspaper this Monday. Petro banks loan for imports to hit 3.5 trillion naira. Emergence of terror group in North and West Africa dangerous. ACF, that is Arewa Consultative Forum. MBF to Tinubu rethink subsidy removal, naira devaluation. That is Middle Belt Forum to Tinubu rethink subsidy removal, naira devaluation. Minimum wage, NLC directs workers in the 14 states to begin strike December 1, once against using Rivers workers as victims of political crisis. Demolitions will even succumb to blackmail, FCT Minister. Vandals attack CCN toward distraught power supply to Abuja. And in sports, CAF Women's CL, dominant Edo Queens more CBE, top group B. That takes us to the stories about the masthead of Vanguard. Israel privileged to be Bayelsa Governor. Diri institutes Ernest Nkoli annual lecture. Obi can become president in 2027. Will prepare very well. Tanko. Hunger, children scavenge for leftovers at parties, prayer houses. The story runs on page 7 of Vanguard. With that, also, we can bring to our close the review of front headline stories today on Vanguard. For more, log on to the website as we move to the next paper we have on our lineup today, and that is The Punch. The Punch says test debts hit 11.4 trillion naira as federal allocations rise. Punch's main headline story today, this Monday, November 11, 2024, states debts hit 11.4 trillion naira as federal allocations rise. Foreign debt hit $4.89 billion as states owe 4.27 trillion naira local debt. Lagos, Rivers, Kaduna, Delta, Edo top chart. We have the picture of the president, Bola Tinubu, and Deputy Governor of Riyadh, Prince Mohammed Abdul Rahman, during Tinubu's arrival for the Arab Islamic Summit at King Abdulaziz International Airport in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Sunday. NLC gives governors December 1 deadline for minimum wage payment. Sees drug suppliers to terrorists arrested. NNPP knocks Kwankwaso for visiting OT. We have moved to the stories beside the masthead of the Punch. Countdown to Ondo 2024, and this time around is on top of the masthead of the Punch. Ondo governorship poll, IG bans Amotekun orders as 15,500 ad hoc staff deployed. INEC clears 1.7 million voters for Saturday poll. 295,856 PVCs uncollected. And the story is just beside the masthead of the Punch say troops launch manhunt as Lakurawa intensifies killings in Sokoto, Kebbi. Ministry is making illegal requests for workers' promotion according to memo obtained by the Punch. You have to find out more on these headline stories even as you log on to the website of the Punch newspaper this Monday, November 11, 2024. Even as we move to the last paper we have on our menu today, and that is the paper sister publication on this table of leadership media group, and that is National Economy. National Economy is a weekly business paper on this table of leadership, and today's weekly headline story says less than 60 days to deadline, self-sufficiency goal for automotive sector still a mirage. Less than 60 days to deadline, self-sufficiency goal for automotive sector still a mirage. Automakers lament as forest scarcity, dwindling demand, orders plague industry. As Nigeria launches forest scheme to booster reserves, find out what happens on page 15 of national economy. And above the masthead of national economy, federal government launches program to expand insurance access for uninsured Nigerians. Nigeria, Morocco, ECOWAS advanced $26 billion African gas pipeline project. That also concludes the review of front headline stories on national economy. But however, the editorial today on page 3 says developing through science and peace. For more, log on to the website of National Economy, www.nationaleconomy.com. With that, we bring to an end the first half of the program Inside Nigeria. Don't forget, second program part of the program is coming in shortly with our guest already in the studio. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the program is Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show where we discuss front headline stories and, of course, other topical issues in the country and even beyond. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, your host on the program, and as you can see, I have my modern guest in the studio. He's actually has a PhD in political economics, public affairs analyst also. Ali Elias, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. So, where do we start? We have so many going for us. As well with this new deadly set coming into the country, Lakurawa. Of course, reports have it that they were actually sent out of Syria during that ISIS. They were part of ISIS fighting there, and of course, they were relegated to the North Africa. But now they are finding their way back in Nigeria, where they are situated in the Kebbi and Sokoto state. And presently, they are occupying some communities in Kebbi state. And killings are already taking place, where they are also taxing some communities for levies. And many Nigerians, including ACF, actually calling on the military to take immediate and decisive steps, immediately, urgency to wipe them out. What is your view?
It's
We
quite
can't have them coming.
it's quite pathetic that we are out of one. We are not out of
Well,
one. Then another one
another-
is actually coming. I think we should first and foremost blame the community because someone said in Southwest that when you go to Southwest, even though you go to the mosque to pray in Southwest, they will round you and say, "Gentleman,
What?
may we know you? Who do you come to see? Why are you
That is
here?"
interesting.
And they get to know you immediately. So if they think you're not supposed to be here, they'll question. I can tell you myself, I've been to Southwest, prayed. Hausa community in that area asked me, "Who are you?
Wow.
Are you a Muslim?
Interesting.
Or you reside so and so?" I'm telling you. So and I wonder, it's such community. You cannot come in because these Lakurawas came 1-2, 1-2. You know,
And
1-2.
you are right,
And
the
before you
communities
know,
noticed
and the
this.
community was appreciating them at the beginning.
They were.
Yes, they were saying, "Yeah, thank you for guiding," until they now turn around and started dealing with the community. So I think it's a serious issue, and we must also talk to the North. Because by the time they started doing having casualty, they'll say, it's now
sorry to
not the case.
come in. No, we are getting security report now. How come we are getting
It's
security now
late.
that they became
I
deadly?
thank
What happened
you.
to our intelligence
Intelligence.
agencies?
I think that's a major issue in Nigeria. Our intelligence need to work. I doubt if there will be a local government that doesn't have DSS or other security agencies. We should have them in abundance. So
Yes.
once things are like, they'll be there to get the intel and do the needful, because now they have entered critically. As we are also discussing them, they're also listening. They also are
Yes,
strategizing and planning.
strategizing.
But for me, I think in as much as
And but there's also report that whether they are luring villagers to join them.
that's the meaning now. When they come, they can't come in good number. They will convince the villagers. I know poverty is a serious problem.
It
They will
is.
convince the villagers, and they will join them. They will give them sophisticated weapon, brainwash them. I think that's the major thing. And let them think it's more something that is much more halal
But this
rather than
Lakurawa, do
haram.
they have any ideology that they are propagating?
Well, until we actually examine them, because look at where they are coming from. They want to take over territory. And taking over territory is something we shouldn't condone. So I want Nigeria Army, the police. I learned the new chief of defense staff, chief of army staff,
Minister
was in Sokoto, and that's a good news. So we want others to also join.
Olukoyede.
Yes, we want all of them to Oloyede. We want all of them
Okay,
to go there
Oloyede.
to
Okay,
actually
Oloyede.
make sure they start action now. And where's our Tokano? These are another thing. All those fighter jet and whatever. I'm not sure we have used them. If at all we use them, not to
Effectively.
the fullest. So I think this is the right time that we must, and the northern government must not keep quiet at this time. They must start exposing whoever belongs to those, and they must not take pity. Because I also have issue with the way we do our amnesty. I listened to one conversation that if you are part of Lakurawa, come for amnesty now before we why are you asking them questions? These people you don't need, you have got to know they have been kidnapping. Kebbi, if you notice, Kebbi,
Sokoto.
Zamfara, Sokoto have been suffering kidnapping,
Honestly,
and they
there's
have killed. So
Zamfara. They
it's
have
appeared
suffered so
that those are
long
the
in the
people
hands
that
of
are there.
terrorists.
I remember Tuji Bello is also in that vicinity,
Yes, in
and
Zamfara.
up till now they've not caught him
Even military has placed a bounty on his
on
head, but
on his
it
head
cannot
up
be
till now.
found.
So
This is
I
somebody
think
that was even giving the chieftaincy
I'm
title
telling
at one
you.
point.
And look at that. So I think the government needs to be decisive at this point in time. I don't think any criminal deserve, especially terrorists, deserve any amnesty.
Honestly.
Because if you give them amnesty, they can still come back. And that's part of people that are recruiting.
Yes.
They look for people that have the experience that have gone come back, and they will now strategize on how to really dealt with
And
Nigerians.
we are told by leadership that terrorists they are sacking security agents and local vigilantes.
That is it now, because that's the people that they know they will reveal their secret and deal with them.
But what is like this issue of insecurity has lingered for so many years and for
Since
so long
2009,
in
I
the
think.
country.
I recall
What
I was in
can
Maiduguri 2010. In fact, as a Muslim, we went for a conference. Said you should not hold that test bill, that bill that we use. That once you use it, you have since 2010. And I wonder before they even
14
kill
years now?
Idi Yusuf, before
Yes.
they killed him, and we have not been able. It's as if we have even resigned to feel that this is part of us already, which shouldn't
Already.
be, because it's giving us palpable. Everybody is scared. Everybody, if you don't recall during Buhari, Buhari was able to reduce Boko Haram, but they get changed
Get
to
to
banditry and
yes.
kidnapping. You could know
Yes.
before we don't have kidnapping and banditry to this
No, we
extent,
didn't
but
have.
now every place is scared. But the best security is the villagers, the dwellers of the community should come together and identify whoever
Whoever.
we think is
Because
a stranger
these are
and
their
question the
own
person.
people.
I'm telling you. Because they actually came from different places. So you should have known that this is not part of
Part
your
of the
community.
group.
And that's why we said that most places in North is porous. People just come in and go out. That's another problem we are
We should
facing.
look at. All right, thank you so much. Now, moving ahead, we'll move over to the Punch newspaper. Story says today that state debts hits 11.4 trillion naira, even as federal allocations rise. Foreign debt hits $4.89 billion as states owe 4.27 trillion naira local debt. Lagos, Rivers, Kaduna, Delta, Edo top chart. How is this so? Given the fact that these states measured only with the exception of Lagos and Kaduna actually partake from that 13% derivation fund, so which makes them so among the top earners from FAC.
Well, for me, I think I would like to take directly to the present table. once he emerged as president, I was thinking that's the first thing he was going to caution them about, that thou shall not go to borrow. Perhaps we have more money sharing now. Unlike before.
Yes,
Before
like
they share
before.
like 600 billion,
But now
now they
they're
share
saying trillions.
1.3 trillion. So that should be a caution, because the more they borrow, it won't be say so state, they will say Nigerian debt, and it's going to affect our disposition, our standard, and a lot of things is affecting. Perhaps what are they actually using this money to do? These are the things we need to look at. Look at the issue of Kaduna, look at the issue of Edo. We need to know, is it a project-tied loan? For me, if I'm President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I will take an holiday from any debt, form of debt, that local or
Foreign.
international, that for 2 years I will not borrow, and no state should also borrow. Perhaps if any state should borrow, they should apply to the federal government for them to approve it.
Yes,
If
yeah,
so, they
but
can
that's how
actually
it
look at
is
it.
actually.
It
It's the
doesn't
federal
it doesn't
government's
appear
fault.
as the right thing now. So I think that's how it should be, because debt, in as much as an economist, we don't see it as bad thing. But what are you using it to do? Perhaps it was because we increase our forest, remove forest subsidy, that we now have debt to revenue to really move up. Before it was about 93%, now it's about 67%, and it's still a lullaby. Do you know why it's a lullaby? All what we are supposed to enjoy with first subsidy removal have been eroded by what? By floating of naira. So
Naira.
if I told you a state is collecting 100 million naira every month, it's a good money.
Yes,
But now if
but
you collect
then
100 million now, it's not
yes,
that
because
you're
of
collecting 40
yeah,
million naira.
million naira.
It's a serious issue.
It is. So what is actually happening? Because it seems like the government is hell-bent on not returning or maybe removing juggling some of its policies like naira float.
I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is bent on
But don't you think it's high time? Because I was reading reports on this Donald Trump's re-election as 47th president now of the US, and some of the analysis was made was that actually during his tenure, during his first year, he boosted the local production of
yes, now
oil, and so
that
we
is
are
what is
going
called
to
American first.
exactly, so we are going to suffer and made energy costs lower. So what, in other words, America is not going to be importing so much
We
during
have
his
four
reign.
things to be concerned about.
Yes.
The first one is oil. America
Yes.
is not part of
Yes,
OPEC,
OPEC, yes.
but they can control what happens in the global market. So
Market.
now that Trump is there now, they may decide to actually control that, and there's nothing we can
And that
do.
there was more of local
Exactly,
domestic production,
domestic, which is
production of
enough for
oil.
them. Perhaps they are even moving. You don't remember his ally, Elon Musk. He's there to
Is there
actually
now?
boost his business, his shares, improve everything. Then the
Everything.
second thing is diaspora remittance. Recall that government was celebrating that we have more diaspora remittance,
Remittance,
and
yes.
that's simply because we now have foreign currency having more value. So people are bringing their money in to invest,
Yes.
buy a lot of things.
Because the naira is low now. For just $1,000 you bring,
One
that's quite
that's
that's
one
one point
around
seven
one point
million.
seven million naira. So, and the thing is, now Trump American First may now say, now
Yes.
this is the limit you can send to your country. You must invest anything you have, it must stay in
In
America.
America.
Serious problem. The other one is trade policy.
Yes.
And that's why I was happy that we
Like
haven't.
China, it will not. It didn't. You know, it put
Yes,
embargo on China
right,
products
it
that
has done it
time because
already.
the price
The trade policy will give us a problem. China is our, in fact, for this year we trade more with China
in
than any other
China.
place.
Yes.
America may not be happy with that. So they may have to look at it that, okay, in that case we reduce foreign direct investment to Nigeria. We reduce aid to Nigeria. It's just his policy. For
Yes,
me,
and apart
I'm in
from
love with
even
his policy.
and even
Let your country be better.
and apart from trading with China, remember that Nigeria is now a partner in BRICS,
In
and
BRICS,
BRICS is where Russia plays a major role.
I think that is
South Africa, that was also the same thing because
no,
you are
we cannot
having
be a partner. In
we're a
fact,
partner. It was reported carried in
those
media,
ones are news that must not filter to America.
but it was right there on
And when
X.
they say partner,
Partner,
there's a
yes,
difference
but
between
not
partner
member.
member. So we are partner to every global
Policy.
UN. We are partner. American Nigeria. We are partner. A lot of American Saudi chambers of commerce. We can do business. We are even Russia are here in Ajaokuta trying to fix our steel company. So that's not bad. But being a member, that's our problem. We always want to stay at the middle, and it's a serious problem. And it's, we are doing that. We are not joining.
Standing on the fence or sitting on the
Exactly,
fence.
sitting on the fence. We don't want to join the BRICS, and we don't want to tell America, this is so because of that fear. Until we decide, because I can tell you, those that are with BRICS are enjoying. Because South Africa, they stay on their own. They comment when they're supposed to comment. They know who they are actually trading with. Now, the America you are trading with, how much is the trade now? Is to whose benefit? We import more. What are we actually exporting to the same America? So it's a serious issue that we must look. But for me, I think Trump have all the right to say American first. You recall that Japan will produce a Toyota vehicle and they call it American spec. America say no. Trump say no. In as much as we want to put American name on it, please come and produce it in my soil. And that's the thing that happened to Hawaii too. There's this Hawaii phone. You can see they are not there anymore because America say no, come and produce it in my country, which I think is a good one. Let us also do even within West Africa, or within AFCTA, African Free Continental Trade Agreement. You can also say no. Even go and check South Africa, they don't approve everything. You can also say no, don't bring textile to my country because I want my country infant industry to grow. Don't bring shoe to my country, and identify the type of product that can come to your country because you know why? We are the largest in population in Africa.
Yes,
we are
ready market at that.
It's ready market. So we are going to become a dumping ground if we don't give rules and regulation. And I don't know what and that's why I was happy. You know why? We always want to look at monetary policy and fiscal policy. We leave trade policy. That's why I'm happy with this Jumoke bring about now. You know why? She understands trade policy, and we can use trade policy to have balance of play and balance of trade. That is where the issue lies. If you don't have good trade policy, you have a problem.
But however, my question there is that, or my reservation is that, yes, it's good to have trade policies. What about a situation whereby you don't really have your own country, don't have the what it takes,
yes,
what it
the
takes
production.
to, like for instance, adding value to products. We all know that Nigeria it has a raw material. We talk about
Value chain.
shea butter,
Yes.
but we don't have that value chain. So what happens? These people come buy the raw materials, or you take them the raw materials like cocoa. They go and turn it into beverages and return it back, which we could have done ourselves.
But that's our major problem. We have a WTO, World Trade Organization, and I think the woman that is there is courtesy of America. Yes. It's not because we are not even qualified to even be at the RAND meeting.
No, but however, have you forgotten under Trump? It was under Trump. Trump refused.
That's what I'm saying now.
Veto it. It was other countries that rallied around her that voted.
What we are saying is that she's actually representing the Korean woman. We're actually representing. She's actually representing America. We are not qualified to present somebody. What are you producing? Somebody's producing. Okay, I agree. Somebody's producing iPhone. What are you producing? You are even exporting raw yam. You cannot sit at the same table. You understand? So that was what actually happened. So until we find our way to add value, in fact, I can tell you the worst of all is cocoa. Cocoa that will have over 150 years. Up till now, it's Cadbury PZ that is producing Bonvita and other products from it. We are not produced. They are international companies. So it's a sad one. And that's why I said we must work on our productions. And that's why OB policy was a very good one. And once politics end, Tinubu should take from OB's policy and implement what
they are doing with
Atiku. They don't understand. They should have looked at all these propositions, take it, refine it, and make it work.
And talking about Nigerians' expertise, it's the same thing we are facing in like for instance, the issue of domestic gas has gone up. I mean, when Nigeria has a deposit that can last for decades.
I'm telling you.
Yet there is no. We are angry that the IOCs are exiting. They are selling off. But what about don't we have domestic?
But there's another thing in business.
So it's still boils down to expertise
and comparative advantage. It's easy to buy gold from Ghana than to produce in Nigeria because we don't have the capacity and the technical. No, I can tell you the gas.
Let me tell you
about CNG. Now all the NNPC. Do you know that it's an Indian people that will go there to operate it? In fact, the guy they will tell you they are using
where you have engineers.
Let me give you an example of Zone 1. The Indian guys will say we are coming by 9. We will queue and be waiting for them until they come and on it. No Nigerians can be able to on it. And when everything happens, they will say close it, and they will just go. And there's nothing we can do. So I just wonder technology transfer. I'm telling you. Go there now. Since a week ago,
they are collecting humongous amount of money.
I have to interact with the guy. But why don't we empower Nigerians to actually do it? It's because of our country. Perhaps NNPC is still not sound in need like NIPCO. Because NIPCO is one that is supplying NNPC CNG. I can tell you, NNPC up to now doesn't have their own. And go and check out their reserve. What they would sell for just 2 hours is what they have. Why NIPCO is selling 24 hours? You can see that even that's why I said these are NPC, they are like marketers. I don't see they are not better than any marketers. They are not looking as if they want to get Nigerian better. You understand? So it is serious issue. Imagine an Indian man still controlling all the NNPC that is selling in Abuja. They have to go there. They are the technical. They are the this. They are the
Technical
that.
experts.
So instead of us to just take, it's not a rocket science.
So
Within
this
2 months,
much
somebody
tooted,
can
oh,
learn it.
Nigerians are brainy, they are selling, is a ruse.
It's a rules, total rules. Perhaps if it's not even rules,
That's what
Nigeria
I
will go
was also
outside and
saying somebody.
excel.
Yes.
But they don't. We don't perform here
And
in
obviously
Nigeria.
because
And
they
it's
are
government.
outside, oh, the pressure is on them to ensure that they distinguish themselves. But
Exactly.
here, nobody
No,
can,
no, no,
because
no. It's
we
the
are talking
environment.
about
We have to correct. It's
the
the
environment.
environment. You know, you must provide infrastructure. You must pay very well. You must expose your people. If I look at Dangote, do you know he has to transcend people that are working for him to outside
To
Nigeria
go
to
and learn.
study, and they came and they are doing it. That's the private sector. So what is the Nigerian government doing? That's the question.
It's really, really sad.
It's
Now you
sad.
just mentioned this CNG and the NNPC and
People are looking
whatnot.
for work
That
now.
is
If you
what.
say you want to train 1,000 Nigerians for how to operate, how to develop, trust
But what
Nigerians, they will
happens
all
to
be
all
there.
this amnesty from Niger Delta that they took out all those while to go and
Well,
study,
trust people that find their way out. They may not want to find
come
their
back,
way, or they come back 2 3 months. They also
they go
want to.
back.
It's because of the environment and the
And
pay.
because the government is also not holding them accountable.
That's
In
it
the
now.
Western world, when you are giving
You sign a,
scholarship,
you are going
use
to Western world,
thank you.
come back to Nigeria. Dangote must have signed a bond that if I train you, you are going to work for me for 10 years
Yes,
before you
yes,
can go anywhere. That's
exactly.
it. It's a normal bond.
Yes. So
It's a
Nigeria
normal
will
bond.
just spend so much
Nigeria
huge
is also
amount of
doing it in,
money.
I think, in university. If they give you money for PhD and you go abroad, you study, you must come back to do maybe 3 4 years before you can. You must sign that you are going to work for them. It's a normal bond. But let them do it. Let it makes meaning.
Okay. Now, still on electricity issues, or just no, sorry, energy, because we are talking about Vanguard's main headline story: Petro banks loan for imports to hit 3.5 trillion naira. Now, I must bring you up to speed on what Vanguard last week did an investigation story, which says that actually the pump price import even landing cost is much more cheaper than what they are selling now.
Correct. I can
So why is
also
this
agree
so?
to
And
that.
that is
You
some of the
see, you
riders.
see,
Marketers set to increase importation. Pump price higher than actual market cost. NSC alleges. Claims Nigerians are being ripped off by marketers. At $72 per barrel of oil, imported petrol should be cheaper in Nigeria, according to experts.
let's look it.
IPMA force NSC.
Number
So what
one,
is happening?
there is need for competition. And in
But
competition,
Dangote refinery
we,
does not want
there
that.
is need for competition, and competition also comes with economic of scale. That let's look at the analysis. America have 132 refineries, and they are still importing. And not importing from Nigeria. They have 132
Yes.
refinery and they are still importing. Saudi have 5 refineries. Saudi is still importing because of competition. So why is Dangote adamant and you don't want people to import? Let there be competition. It is when we import that we can get the real cost.
Yes, that is what
It will be
he said,
balanced.
that the regulation is actually
That is it. But he is trying to make sure that other people don't.
so
And you know what? There's what we even call forward contract. Most of all these big player marketers, they have paid for like next 1 year to where they are going to get their crude and their refined petroleum. So
yes.
you want them to abandon it?
Then,
They cannot abandon it now. You just come into the stream, but you want to shut the door at the same time. So for
and
me,
you know the marketer
government
said
should give
their
room.
money is still with
That's what I'm saying
NNPC.
now. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of things. So they should allow them to, and they got even approval to import, and they pay NNPC maybe for 10 years.
Yes,
Are you
they said
saying they
yes,
should
because
stop? So for me, I think Dangote should be a good team player, not to, because in the long run they will still abandon him. If I have to import and I buy it at landing cost at 700, you are selling your own at 950. Why do I have to buy your own? And that's the major problem. So for me, I think federal government need to do more to let Dangote know that what is obtainable in cement,
it
in
cannot be
sugar,
also
cannot be obtainable
obtainable
in oil. It's a
oil.
two different thing. It's a global market.
So what is the way forward? A situation whereby we are having a Trump administration, we are having the economy as low as it can be.
Well, we
What
should brave
should
more
we?
because dollar will have more value as Trump
Yes,
is there now.
yes.
Yes,
I think I
because
heard
that is
somebody
his
say
own.
so.
Dollar will have more
Yes,
value because
yes,
Trump
that's
plays value on all those things, and interest rate during Trump always come to the lower level. So American were enjoying. During his time, there was
Yes.
almost zero unemployment
Yes.
because he said, if you are producing, come and produce here.
Yeah.
If not, we will not
Yes.
buy from
Yes.
you.
I
So
even
for me, Trump is a good.
during the vote counting, one of the swing states, one of the swing states was I read it, I watched it on CNN that it actually has one of the unemployment rates. They voted
They vote
for
for
Trump.
Trump because he always, his concern is that production must be here. Don't deceive us. It must be real here. Don't use our brand anywhere. And
Arizona.
Arizona, and you must pay our people very, very. During his
That,
period, you know what
but
he did as a
California
businessman. You know what he did? He
unemployment rate is very high.
empower companies. So their interest rate was 0 point
Yeah, that's
something.
what he said.
Do you know? Do you know our interest rate? It's almost 30% of whatever you borrow. But someone is making it possible for you to less
Yes.
than one
So it's going
percent.
to reduce tariff.
Me and you will go into business, and that's what he did. He boosted the economy. So even these people, they trade it up. Now part of why these people fail is part of the economic policy,
Yeah.
or that they
America
are
is
bringing.
actually also undergoing what Nigerians are undergoing because they said they are paying so much for
So
groceries
I'm
right
telling
now,
you,
and the house
that is the
rents
major
are
reason why they
yes
vote
skyrocketed.
for
Yes.
Trump. He's a businessman. He know how to
Businessman.
really make things actually work for
So
people.
what is actually happening? Back to our main story on the Punch newspaper that states debt hit 11.4 trillion naira even as federal allocations rise. Can the Tinubu sit down these governors and say no, no more borrowing
I
because we
think
already have enough as it is?
there may be constitutional conditionalities that may not allow him to do it, but can do it through executive bill, or through legislation that, no, for the next 2 years, don't let us go. But because like, you are bringing our futures away. Manage what you have. Do you know the worst thing? 55%, about nine states rely 70% on FAC. They are not even working on internal generated revenue. They are only holding like this,
And
waiting
waiting,
for months to end
cap in
and
hand.
collect cap in hand. They are not thinking anything. I think government need to start, thanks to budget, who bring out the research. 55, some of them are waiting for about 55, 45 to 55. It's very wrong. The fact should be like 30%, not
Not
fact will be 70%, and your internal revenue will be 70%. It's a serious issue that we need to look into.
all right, thank you so much. Now, lastly, NSC is already threatening strike December 1st over new minimum wage. According to NSC, some state governments are not paying the minimum wage, which is about 70,000 naira, which is quite fair given the prevailing economic
I
situation.
don't know,
How can
maybe I
state
need to
government
do
say they
more
will not
research.
pay
Is there a state that
70,000
is
naira?
paying the new minimum wage already? That's the
Yes, Edo
question.
State.
What they're actually saying is
Lagos
that
State, they are even paying more. They
what
said they
what they're
want to be
actually
paying
saying
more.
is that they're not even saying that people say they're not paying. Say they are not even showing any form of discussion around it.
Around it.
Like Kogi said 72,000. Others are saying,
Mm-hmm.
but some states did not. 14 states did not even mention.
Mentioned
They are
it.
not even ready to do anything about it. So I think it's a good one because
And if you look at it,
that's
most
part
of
of the
these state governments,
instruments.
it's not as if they have so much civil servants in their
They are even collecting a huge FAC
back
allocation.
allocation. You
Even
say you
FAC
not pay.
allocation has justified why they should pay, because you are receiving maybe 100 million before, 100 billion before. Now you are taking about 150, 120. It's the difference is actually there.
Much.
So I think that's one of the instruments of NLC to go on strike, and they have said the warning. So the state have opportunity of about maybe 18 or 19 days now to make decisions, which is very, very key, because they must go to the National Assembly, move it. So if they don't do that, there won't be, or let it be executive bill from the governor that, okay, state assembly changes, so people will know that you are making it, but they just keep silent.
Just kidding. All right, thank you so much. Now, lastly, we are looking at our sister publication, National Economy, a weekly business newspaper. And this week's main headline story says less than 60 days to deadline. Such sufficiency goal for automotive sector still a mirage. In other words, federal government has been setting dates and targets to achieve automotive sector dependency. Automakers lament as well as scarcity, dwindling demand, others plague industry.
Right. You see, until we are very ready.
So you mean Nigeria actually sets deadline for automotive sufficiency,
In terms of yes,
local vehicle
local vehicle
production?
production.
Really?
No, the fact is that
That was quite ambitious.
we are not serious. We are not a
That was
serious
quite, but that
country.
was quite ambitious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We are not serious. You know why? If you go to Rwanda, Do you know Volkswagen is producing in Rwanda? Rwanda of 13 million.
And we had Volkswagen here. Right.
Listen to me, Rwanda of 13 million people. That about 500,000 of them cannot boast of buying new car. Why? And who are they producing for? They are producing for Nigeria. Because we are the one that have the population, the money.
The money, the market.
In South Africa, they have the principle, the law that says that only 6 vehicles want to be used in this country. And this 6 vehicle, you must come and produce it. If you don't produce it, don't come. Right. In Nigeria, I take a count of vehicles. It's about 38 brands. Everybody's just coming to Dram, Kwang, Jingoin. Now, any product you find it in Nigeria, yes. And no one is being assembled. Let's not even look at production. Even Podio, where are they doing it again? Volkswagen, where are they doing it again? You understand? So Nigeria must stand and defend that. Okay, we want only 3 products. Come and assemble in Nigeria and our 3 local products. Because Nigeria is actually having people that assemble. Innocent, Mekano, Nord. We have them in number now. So we must start, and I think it's National Assembly too. Because the problem still lies on them. It's our elite. They are the one that can buy new cars.
Yes. So the only
but
one
civil servants can also get. If you go all those other countries, you can actually do contribution. You know, they gave it to you. Start paying. It will even give you rest of mind. So I think we are not serious. It's just I'm happy that this national economy has been to limelight again. Let's see what happens.
All right, that is our take home from today's Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show, Leadership Television. Of course, I've always had the pleasure of having come every Monday wherever it comes around. Our political economics. Thank you so much, Ali.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you around. Well, this is where we draw the curtain on today's Inside Nigeria. My name is Unifred Grebo. For more on the same time tomorrow, don't forget to join us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 08036886158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.